team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. There are few people that have had a larger impact on football, primarily high school football, but football period in the state of Mississippi, than Ricky Woods. His teams have appeared in 11 state championship games, 8 state titles, and he joins us right now to talk about a couple of his former players who will be playing this Sunday. Coach Woods, how's retirement, by the way?
It's good. Me and my wife are really enjoying it. It's a little different. It took a while to get used to, but I think we're coming around.
Well, good for you. What are you doing to pass the time? Because I know after all of those years working and traipsing up and down sidelines, you can't just sit around and do nothing.
Well, I hunt and fish, and I have a garden. And after being gone for so many years, I got plenty of work just working on my house, and I enjoy that too, just piddling. But and we keep busy. She's retired too, so we travel a lot now, which has been fun.
Yeah, well, good for you. You certainly have earned that. I'm curious, when you reflect on your time at Starkville, and specifically A.J. Brown and Willie Gay, what do you think of with those two guys who will be playing against each other in the Super Bowl this weekend?
Well, I'm going to tell you, of course, they are two tremendous players. Have all kind of talent and ability. But, both those guys were very intelligent. They were leaders. They were high character. They were some of the hardest working kids I've ever been, or men now that I've ever been associated with in my life. And, I come in late. We had 94 players that year. They finished with 94 players. And, I didn't know it was so when I came in June because I got late. And, there was a lot of good guys on that team. But, people feed off the best players and how they act. And those guys were great leaders for that team. And, you get guys who've got a lot of ability and make good decisions and, intelligent and good at work ethic. That's all in line, which going to, result in a lot of prosperity, which they've done. They deserve it. And that's why they are where they are today.
Yeah. Ricky Woods visiting with us on the Farm Bureau guest line. He's coached all over Mississippi at Ackerman, at Starkville, at South Panola, a couple of different stints, Northwest Community College, had a year in Georgia. So you've had a lot of football players, and you've had a lot of football players that have gone on to be very successful post-high school. I'm curious if in the moment when you're coaching a guy like Willie Gay or an A.J. Brown, if you know that there's something different there. Like, I mean, you have great players, and then you have players that are just at a different level. Do you see it that early?
Oh, yeah. I can watch. I had him interviewed at Starkville, but I was going to, and they played a spring game, and I come to the state. They played at Starkville. And, I'd been out of state, been in junior college. I hadn't been associated with high school football much, and I didn't know who A.J. was. And I went up the stands to sit down, and first play of the line of scrimmage, he caught a pass and run. I told my wife, that's a real player right there, number 15. He stood out the first play I ever seen him, and I wouldn't even coach him at that time. And, of course, you get back and you got Willie, and, of course, he comes in. He's 6'3", about 215. He can fly, very aggressive and strong, and, you got something. We had a lot of good players on that team, but, of course, those two were the two standouts without a doubt.
Is there any way to look at a kid at high school and go, he's going to be an NFL player?
Well, I knew A.J. was because, about the middle of the senior year, we was talking. He said, when he went to college, he was going to get me tickets. I said, I can get college tickets. I'm going to need the next level tickets. And, yeah, I knew he was, unless something bad went wrong, he was destined. Willie was young. He came in the 10th grade. He had a good junior year. And you could just tell all that athletic ability he had. I knew Willie was going to have a chance to, too. And, the longer you progress with him his senior year, I mean, you just knew it was going to happen for him. And those guys handled themselves well. You get guys who's got great talent, and they got to handle themselves well. Both of them had good parents and made good decisions and help, and they were raised really good.
So what's your plan for Sunday night as you're watching this game with two of your former players? Will you just sit back and prop your feet up and enjoy it? Will you be nervous?
Well, I'm always excited. I don't watch a lot of pro ball, but I watch those two teams. I've been watching Philadelphia and Kansas City when they're on. I enjoy watching the guys that I've coached, and of course I root for them. But I'm going to be neutral. I really think a lot of both those guys, and so I'm just telling my wife I was going to be neutral, and she is too. So. But I'm going to watch every play, and I'm going to enjoy it. I know that. Somebody asked me who you want to win. I said, well, I wish they scored a sort of tie, But you're going to be proud for other, and you're going to feel bad for one. But they know the stage they play it on. They both, just getting there and being able to play it, win the NFC or AFC championship is just absolutely, it's just a dream come true for both of them.
Yeah. Well, and kind of a crazy deal for AJ. I mean, he's by far the leading receiver for the Titans a year ago, and everybody's a little shocked when they trade him away. And I guess they had their reasons to do that, but the Titans' loss certainly has been Philadelphia's gain.
Yeah, it's been their game. I mean, he sort of spurred them on. They had a good team, and I know him and Jalen Hurts are good friends, and it was a good fit, and it sort of spurred the Eagles on, and of course, it continued AJ's career. He's just such a nice, dynamic guy, blocking, and it's everything he does. He can get the best hands I've ever seen on anybody. I've never coached him that close to him. And, in high school, he looked like a linebacker. He's muscled up, run. But people that size usually can't run that fast. So him and Willie both. Willie can fly, too, now.
Yeah. Hey, last thing for you, and this is kind of switching gears a little bit. I'm curious, with a year of retirement under your belt and the ability to reflect a little bit, when you think about high school football, especially in the state of Mississippi right now, is the game in a healthy place?
I think so. I mean, I think it really is. I mean, we've got a lot of good coaches out there, a lot of good young coaches out there. And, they're doing a lot of things right, I believe. I mean, you play against those guys, and, they got good schemes. They got a good program. You talk to them, and they'll come talk to you. I think that the football is in a good place in Mississippi. In the South, I think it's just we're so fortunate to have the kind of kids that they just good, hard-nosed, working kids, and they enjoy the game. And I think Mississippi, we talk about basketball, baseball, and everything, but they're still predominantly a football state because of the fan base. Because most of the people in Mississippi really, really enjoy high school football.
Yeah. Folks love their Saturdays in Mississippi, but there's something special about Friday nights that I don't think you can ever replace.
Everybody that in a community know the kids, and they got access to go watch and play. Doesn't everybody have access to go to a college football game? And they don't know them all, know many of them anyway. But you go to a high school football game in Mississippi, and we're pretty rural. They usually know all the kids, and everybody wants to go to that game in that town can get in the gate and watch the game. And, it's something to talk about. It's a social event, actually. I mean, every people in all walks of life have a come and go when it's related to that team. That's their team in that town. And that is special.
And it's funny you say that. In some ways, I mean, we designate one game homecoming, but it's kind of like homecoming. I'll go to a high school football game in Oxford where I played and where I live now, and I see people that I don't see any other time, right?
Yeah.
But everybody kind of reconvenes on Friday nights at the football field.
It's just it's just the way that everybody can get along. People get closer. You got kids that I can go down here to Akron and I don't know hardly any of the fans. It's changed. It's a different group doing the same thing, coming to see their kids play or their friends' kids play or their brothers play or whatever. But it's really, really something special for any kind of athletic event. I mean, I got a grandson in the band. He feels the same way about the band.
Sure.
Kids need to belong to something. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, band, just belong to something. I was just fortunate enough to just, be around football more than anything that I had. But one thing about it, Starkville High School and the community of Starkville, I want to put today they got a big billboard with both of them pictures on it. They representing A.J. Brown and Willie Gay very well, and I'm proud for them.
Well, Starkville's got a lot to be proud for as well. Coach, thanks so much for your time. Glad that retirement is treating you well. Maybe we can catch up down the line.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
That's Ricky Woods joining us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favrates.com and go with the home team at Mississippi Farm Bureau. A ton of success for him. 8 state championships and 11 state championship game appearances. And I can't imagine what that would feel like to sit down in the recliner, sit down on the couch on Sunday night, and you're watching the Super Bowl, and 2 guys that you coached on the same team playing against each other for the Lombardi Trophy. We'll be back.